Hey, how's it going? This is the Weihrauch HW30S. It is a single-shot break barrel spring piston powered air rifle. This particular one is in caliber 177. It comes with an automatic safety, which every time you cock it, it comes on. And you can also disengage the safety, which I'll try to show you right now. When you pull it down, the safety will spring in, and to decock it, disengage the safety, pull on the trigger, and slowly let go on the barrel. So this is a nice option. Not all spring-powered air rifles have that option. On my particular gun, I have a Williams peep sight. It comes with a pair of iron sights, very nice iron sights. I've elected to put on some peep sights, and I'll talk about that later in the video. So I would like to make the case today why this particular air rifle is the best first air gun for someone just getting into air guns. This has been my first air gun. I've owned it for about 3 years, and I've shot about 1,500 pellets through it, and I've never regretted purchasing it or thought that I should have started out with another air gun. Full disclosure, I actually haven't shot any other air guns. This has been my one and only so far, but I really enjoyed it, so no regrets. What do I like about it? Well, it's a good size. It's 39 inches overall. It's got a 15.5-inch barrel. It's got a 14-inch length of pull, which is from buttstock to the trigger. And this particular model with this particular stock is just over 6 pounds on my scale. So it's nice weight to start out. Not too heavy. It's not too small. I like it. It's nice and quiet. It's fairly low powered. You'll see here I'll do some chronograph testing, and it'll shoot a 7.33 grain pellet at around 675 feet per second. It's about a 7 to 7.5 foot-pound air rifle. So it's a nice low powered, which is good when you're just starting out. You can shoot at very short distances. I'll shoot here out to 25 yards, and that might even be pushing it for something like this. But I'll shoot at 25 yards in my yard, or even just 10 meters here in the house. So another great thing for starting out. You don't have to go to the gun range or out in the bush or wherever it is that you go shooting. You can just shoot at home, which for me is a huge advantage. One of my big costs of going shooting is having to drive an hour or so to get up to a gun range. So if I can do it in my own home, big cost savings, big time savings, more trigger time, more practice, and hopefully better skills training. So what did I say? I said it was nice and quiet. You don't need any hearing protection. Because it's low powered, you don't have to worry about the projectile going too far. Show you if you haven't seen a pellet before, this is kind of how they're shaped. They're not particularly aerodynamic. They're aerodynamic in that they self-stabilize themselves, but they do so with a lot of drag, so they slow down very quickly. So even between here and my little target out there, 25 yards, these pellets will probably lose about half their energy by the time that they get there, which means they can't go too far, which means, say you missed no, let's not say that. Let's say there's very low potential for hurting anybody or hurting anything if you accidentally hit what you didn't mean to. So low powered, and they don't go too far, which is nice. What else is really great about this? This particular gun is, I think it's very high quality. It's made in Germany. There's no plastic on it. Every bit of it is either solid wood or nice steel. Even the trigger guard, everything's well made. You're able to adjust the trigger here if you want to. This little screw here, you can make the trigger heavier or lighter. I haven't touched mine, and I quite enjoy it. It's a very crisp 2-stage trigger. What else do I like about this? What's really nice about brake barrel spring-powered air guns, make sure I say that right, is that they don't need any other kind of equipment. There's 2 other types of air guns. There's also CO2-powered air guns, and they require little CO2 cartridges. Or you've got the PCP, pre-charged pneumatics, and they'll have a bottle of air somewhere attached to the firearm that needs to be refilled, either from an air compressor of sorts or from a scuba tank. So there's extra equipment, extra cost required. It's all self-contained. All you need is to buy the gun, the pellets, and you're good to go. So that's great when you're just starting out. Not too intimidating in all the equipment that you might need, but in this case you don't. Those are probably all the good things. Good size, nice weight, good build quality. It's accurate. Maybe not in my hands. If you put a nice scope on there and you got a good bench rest, Online, I've seen people do like 1-inch groups at 25 yards, or down to half-inch groups if they're really good. So that works out to what, 2 MOA, 4 MOA. It's really good for an air rifle, from what I can tell. I'll take some shots here, and we'll see how well I can do offhand. I won't do that well, but it'll be minute of pop cam for sure. So yeah, good quality, not too loud. Shoot it at home, accurate, and fun. It's just so much fun. Like I'll probably end up shooting this more than any other firearm I own, just because it's so accessible. I can shoot it at home. Yeah, this also comes in a 22 caliber version, which would also be really good. I'll talk about that more later at the end of the video. Anyway, I want to talk about these Williams peep sights. Why do I have a peep sight instead of putting on a scope or just leaving on the regular sights? I like the aesthetic. It increases the sight radius, so you can be a little more precise in your shots. I like peep sights. I've used them on my conventional firearms, and it's probably just something I'm used to, but I really like the peep sight. And you can see on this Williams sight, you can dial it in pretty accurately. So you've got your, what's this? This would be the up and down, and this one would be for the side to side, windage and elevation. The front here has little inserts. I've opted to put in the partridge style sight inside, but they've also got posts of various thicknesses, and it came with 6 inserts, I believe. And I like this one. I think it goes with the peep sight very well. This particular peep sight, if anyone is interested, it's called the FP-Aig or whatever that means. Anyway, this is what the name of it, in case anyone's interested in putting this on their air rifle. I didn't have to change the front sight at all. It was already lined up. Like sometimes you put on an aftermarket rear sight and you don't know if it's going to be too high, way too high, or way too low for your existing front sight. But this one worked. This one worked perfectly. Another thing I forgot to mention about this air rifle is it fits me perfectly. When I shoulder it, I can just rest my cheek on it, and it actually puts it in line. So many of my other guns, and I like a Ruger 1022 or something like that. You'll aim up and you'll have to lift. I'll have to lift my head or something like that. This is the only gun that I have, but that it fits me just perfectly. Anyway, I'm going to take some shots here. I suppose it all depends on how you're built. But anyway, it fits me. So I'm going to take some shots here. I've got my target out there at 25 yards. And I'll also do some chronograph here just so you can see what kind of speeds we're getting out of this. Oh, I should mention what kind of pellets I'm using. I'm using these GSB Exact RS. They're a 7.33 grain. Again, full disclosure, I haven't shot any other kind of pellets. When I bought the firearm, I just researched what the internet told me was a good pellet for it, and that's what the internet told me to use. So it's been working okay so far. Maybe someday I'll try to test some others, but they work well for me. Anyway, we always have to take off the automatic safety, and we'll just take about 10 shots here. 672. So the cocking effort is nice and light. Again, I haven't tried any others, but from what I read, this is a very easy firearm to cock. The spring is nice and smooth. I don't hear any crunching or twanging inside. And 666. So I find I tend to get speeds usually between 670 and 680. $665. A little lower at the moment. So this will give energies about 7 to 7.5 foot-pounds. 680. There we go. We'll see what speeds we get this time, but the extreme spread I notice is, I don't know, less than 20 anyway. Less than 20 feet per second between the fastest and slowest. I don't know how good that is, but it's not bad. 676. So this is a kind of fun gun that you can shoot all afternoon if you wanted, and it hardly cost a thing and wouldn't tire you out. Just really relaxing. $671. Put on one more. $52. A little low at the end there. Anyway, I'll go have a look at that target. Well, it looks like I was able to shoot a 2.7-inch group. Not the greatest, although at least it's fairly well centered. Just to show that I can do it a little bit better on an earlier shooting, I was able to get a 1.8-inch. So it's a little better group, but this time it's a little off to the right. So, still need improvement. So while I've got you here, I also thought I'd give some reasons why air rifles can have an advantage over conventional firearms. Most of the reasons are the same reasons why this one's such a good one to start. They're not too expensive. They're quiet. You can shoot them at home, so you don't have to go to the gun range. It's huge cost savings. The guns are usually less expensive. The ammo is usually less expensive. You don't have to have huge ranges in order to challenge yourself. Shooting this at 25 yards is probably similar to shooting a 308 bolt action at, I don't know, 300 or 400 yards. So you don't need a huge range to challenge yourself. That's nice. Goes into the lower cost, right? Low maintenance. I've shot 1,500 rounds to this, like I said, 1,500 pellets, and I haven't cleaned it yet. There's no gunpowder in air rifles, and it's mostly the gunpowder residue you're cleaning out of your conventional firearms. So these things are just much lower maintenance certainly in terms of cleaning. Maybe just put some oil on the outside to make sure they don't rust up while they're being stored. But in terms of cleaning the barrel, I haven't had to touch it, and from what I understand, you really don't need to unless you find any starts to affect your accuracy or whatnot. Another advantage, it depends on your jurisdiction, but in certain places, air guns don't have the same permits or licensing that conventional firearms do. Here in Canada, if an air gun shoots a projectile under 500 feet per second, anyone over the age of 18 can buy them. There's no licensing permit required. This particular one, like you saw, it shoots about 675. So this one did require my gun license to buy, but they have detuned versions of the 177, so they can, slightly less powerful spring so that it shoots less than 500 feet per second. Or you can buy the 22 version, which, because it shoots heavier projectiles, even though it's the same power as this one, actually shoots slower than 500 feet per second. I think it's 400 and advertised at 440 or 450 or something like that. So if you found the 22 version like this here in Canada, you wouldn't need a gun license. So that would another big advantage to the air guns, and a big advantage of why it would be a really good first air gun. So if I was just starting out in Canada, wanted to get into air guns or guns in general, didn't have my license, wanted something to start, I'd probably find this and either get it in the detuned 177 version or the 22 version. That'd be really good. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the matter. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you for your time, and have a good one.